All right, guys, so here we are on gold. I have decided to enter into a short position here. The market's been open for close to 2 hours now, and we sort of get this nice push up into this zone of traffic here. And so I think, having a stop loss above this level here is a great, great place for one. And we have a 3-to-1 risk to reward, so that's wonderful. Um, and yeah, we're really just simply targeting this zone down here. And really, again, guys, what my focus is with gold is just looking for highly probable positions that take place regardless of the time of day, right? Um, so somewhat of more of an intraday approach, not really necessarily a day trading approach like the way that I look at US 30, right? And that's because gold can have more larger moves all throughout the day, whereas US 30's moves are generally, for the most part, um, centered around the US morning trading session, right? But gold, you have a whole bunch of different global trading sessions that can influence the price of gold, right? So, um, again, it doesn't mean that, I'm denying that we're in an uptrend overall with gold, maybe on a macro monthly time frame, right? Year to year will probably trend up to the upside. But right, we're just looking for somewhat more of an intraday position and that sort of thing, right? So, we had nice support down here and this sharp push up into this zone, right, with our stop loss above here. That's a really low risk, high reward scenario. And then we also have the potential to just move our stop to break even very quickly, right? So, really simple setup. You don't even need to talk. I don't need to elaborate much on the price action. Just really simple setup, right? So, we're just gonna let this play out now. All right, guys. So obviously you saw that entry where we got in. It was right up here as we pushed into the zone, and so we're just gonna kind of do a quick little overview. Like I said, I don't know if I said that in the video. There's not too much to talk about. It's a really simple position, but um, as we push up into this level, right, obviously our stop loss is going to be above here, right, above this wick, because we want to have a recent structure as our reference point in order to put our stop loss. And we come up and we only go a little bit above, very minimal drawdown. But if you look at a 4-hour chart, it looks pretty interesting here. So um, obviously, no one's denying that we're in an uptrend, right? But that doesn't mean we have larger, more macro level pullbacks, right? So you may look at this and think this is very bullish, right, with this candle coming up here. Um, but really, what it is you have to be able to identify areas where um, price is very likely to reject a level and not break through, right? So here, this was on Friday, and so we held the trade over the weekend, right? And I just want to make note of this zone down here. It looks a lot more simple on a 4-hour chart. But let's go back to the hourly, right? So um, this was on Friday morning, and Friday as well as Sunday evening when the market reopened, right? The foreign exchange market, and um, Monday morning as well, excuse me. We did not have any major news whatsoever, and so I wasn't looking for necessarily any move with high volatility, right? I was really just looking for something very simple, and this price action, right? Our target was obviously down here at this level because it is a key area, right? We have many touches and many areas where we are respecting this level as support, and so obviously we broke through, but you can see it was a nice place to get out. Um, but what I'm saying about the news is you can tell in this price action that there was no major news announcements that would affect the price of gold, right? And a lot of that is because again it is a Monday. Friday was very uneventful. Like I said, we had the sharp push up into this range, but there wasn't really eventful news on Friday, and then Sunday obviously not, and Monday obviously not as well. So uh, yeah, so again, really simple trade. Let's go to a yeah 30 minute. Um, so the way to identify these zones is really you need to look across a couple different time frames. I typically look, 30-minute and hourly are obviously not that much different. I will typically go to a 30-minute when there's maybe some detail that I can't fully tell what's going on the hourly chart, and maybe the 30-minute can give you a better picture. But obviously, you look on here, right? If we're going back to Friday, right, and you see price pushing up here, instead of looking for a long position, right, you have to look left and you see, okay, well, we have these areas over here with a lot of traffic, right? Um, you know, it's a general zone, right? So I don't look necessarily for specific prices, right? Like for instance, putting a line somewhere and saying this is exactly our resistance here. Um, I look more so in general price zones, right? So basically this box is the top of our zone and the bottom is the bottom of our zone. And so obviously, we push up into this zone and this is our area to go short, excuse me, but we still do go a little bit above the zone, right? So you don't want to necessarily think in terms of, you don't want to be too precise is what I'm trying to say. And that's something that I have struggled with a lot in the past is I would try to be too precise, and it would lead me to, not that you would take bad trades, but that you just wouldn't really take many trades because nothing would ever be perfect, right? And nothing ever really will be perfect, and so you just kind of have to go with that, right? And go with what you're given. So if you look on the hourly, right, you can see if we're right here pushing up into this level and we see, okay, let's make a zone. Obviously, we have here, right, we have this area, we respected this level as support, broke through, broke back down, right? You could maybe extend the zone down a little bit if you would want, but we have time after time that we respect this level. And then, we come back into the zone again, and that is a key area to go short because we have a nice solid push into this, right? So then our level that we are looking to get out, this one is a wonderful zone. So obviously we have this touch down here. We have this support, this wick that was trying to break down but rejected. More support, right, and more areas where we are respecting this level. So again, it's really simple. It's really a lot of it is discernment. It's not like there is a at least to me, right, with what works for me. There's not a specific formula that I follow precisely, right? Because every day is different. Not every day is going to be exactly the same, right? Sometimes you have to do things a little bit differently. Not every day is going to work out. If you try to follow a specific plan, then what you have to do is you have to be extremely patient and wait for that precise criteria to play out in order for you to take a position, because if not, then you will get impatient and make some really bad decisions. But so this is what our trade looked like on the video, right? We push up into the zone, we go short, right? Our stop is above there, our target is down here. Now obviously, yeah, we could have gone a little further. Maybe reaching zones like this, you could trail your stop below pullbacks on this move to the downside. But sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. But really, I'm just showing what works for me. If this doesn't work for you, then do not follow this. But ultimately, this is just what works for me. So, and so going forward, right? Obviously, we still have these two levels that we can take a look at. But if we look at a 4-hour, right? Obviously, we are still, we're still in a bullish trend. We're in an uptrend. But we have a very large pullback here on the 4-hour. So, maybe this looks like a nice area. This was, this area was our target. This looks like a wonderful area to maybe look for a short position again, if we get a proper push up into it. But again, we just have to evaluate the news coming out the rest of this week, and then from there we can kind of try to visually pinpoint where we think we're going to have large turns, maybe due to the news, right? So it's just really simple. This was a very simple trade. Really no drawdown. Really, really not a whole bunch to talk about, to be honest. But again, this is just what I do. This is just what works for me. So on the daily chart, if we can see some support established clearly on the daily chart, then I will definitely be looking for more long positions. But the price action is, you can really tell the difference, right? So we have a large push up, and this is a nice accumulation pattern down here for us, right? We get another push up, And instead of getting an accumulation pattern, you can see this. We get uh, a volatile push that keeps kind of trying to stair step its way as high as it can, and that's kind of why we get this dump that we did, right? Here, it's a lot more gradual, right? Make a high, come down a bit, make a nice support. The support was really held all these days in a row. Make another high, come down, make support again, and then break out. So this is nice bullish accumulation. This, right? This pattern is basically asking to get a dump, right? That's kind of how I see this, right? So yeah, but anyway, we will see if we can get a nice push up into this zone here, or maybe not. Maybe we establish nice support, break through this zone and retest it and go higher. But really, it's just about being fluid with the price action, right? I'll check gold basically all throughout the day, pretty much every hour. Not when I'm sleeping, obviously, but throughout the day, pretty much every half an hour, every hour, I'm taking a look at gold, right? So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. And again, this is just showing a trade that I took. You know, if it's confusing to you and maybe you don't like this method, or you don't understand the method, then stick with what works for you. But a lot of times, the more that you trade, you have to go with your own convictions. The longer that you do this, it's not necessarily following a specific playbook, right? And a lot of people may want to follow a specific playbook and do what works for you, but really over time, once you really, if you follow any pair, follow US30, follow pound yen, USD JPY, after a while, if you look at price continually throughout the day for weeks and weeks and months, eventually you'll understand somewhat of the personality, in a sense, of the chart. And then it'll be a lot more, you'll have a lot more conviction when you're getting in positions, and you'll have a lot more confidence, right? So anyway, I hope this video was a little helpful. I know it's short. I'm going to make a lot more longer ones going into more detailed price action in the near future. But yeah, I just got back from a trip, so I'm a little sick. So I apologize for that. But anyway, I hope this video was a little helpful for you.